Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to the Infinite Way, where spirituality meets humanity. And it brings me great pleasure to introduce a dear friend of mine, Bukeka Blakemore. Bukeka is the Deputy Executive Director for Creative City, Kansas City. She is the co-founder of FAVuniteTv, an OTT over-the-top streaming television platform. Bukeka is known for her inspirational speaking and singing to audiences all around the world, leading discussions on the importance of self-worth. She has 30 years experience in entertainment, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and event production. Bukeka has opened for entertainment icons such as Harry Belafonte, Maya Angelou, and toured with Oleta Adams. She is dedicated to women's empowerment, cultural awareness, and well-being of humanity. I welcome Bukeka Blakemore.
Hello, Dr. Enolia. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. It brings me great joy. And I love all the work that you're doing. It is so amazing. And I'm so grateful to be a part of your platform today.
I am so excited to have you here. I have so much that I want to ask you. I'm excited that we're going to be able to have that conversation. And, we talked about a little bit of what to focus our conversation on. And what we came up with was how to fulfill a vision that you hold.
Yes.
And why
Yes.
is that so important to you, Bukeka? Holding a vision and fulfilling it.
Particularly being in the entertainment industry for as long as I have been, and knowing that there's so much that in that industry that can really take your breath away. It has the tendency to challenge your worth all the time, whether it's with an audience or whether it's with a record label or a film studio. No matter what, there's always this challenge of your self-worth. And so when your self-worth is feeling a sense of being diminished, it's really challenging to hold a higher vision for what you want for your life. But it is also imperative that you hold a higher vision for what you want for your life, even for the mere aspect of staying in a place of peace, of staying in a place of hope and joy. When I started to hold the vision of what I wanted as a career, it was a long time ago. And sometimes visions change. You learn, you grow, you have an understanding of who you are as an individual, as a person. And your vision many times catches up with that, right?
Yeah.
And we have a tendency to allow what other people say is the vision for your life to be that. But then you begin with maturity or a greater sense of self-awareness to know that the vision that you have for your life comes from within. So once I really had that, and it wasn't immediate, it was definitely one that I had to sit in prayer with, that I had to reveal that authentic nature of who I am for a true vision to begin to come to life. And then there is that daily, consistent affirmation, no matter what the circumstance or situation, holding that faith, holding that energy, giving it love, giving it life, and evolving so that that vision does become the reality.
That is so beautiful in the respect that, I know that attitude, that understanding and embracement is the foundation that you stand upon in order to go after what you have. So this is a perfect segue into saying that you just achieved a new role.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing, what the role is, understanding that you bring this beauty of the energy of going after what you wanted as a beautiful path of holding a vision for yourself until that vision comes into fruition and then furthering your vision.
Well, I'm very, very excited because this role of that I've stepped into is definitely one that encapsulates the vision that I've had for my life for so long. So I recently became the deputy executive director for Creative City, Kansas City. Kansas City is a UNESCO designation for music. We are in the UNESCO Cities of Music, Creative Cities Network, and we are a city of music. The designation for music is one that falls on the story of jazz as an indigenous art form in the United States and in Kansas City. Not that Kansas City is the only city that jazz exists, but there are certainly enough stories for the history of jazz that support that everything about that particular genre passed through Kansas City. So, this position as deputy executive director is one where not only am I given the opportunity to tell the world about what we're doing as an organization, but to also tell the world of how music in general is a way to bring countries together, people together, to bring community in every sense of the word. The power of music is one that can never be taken away because it is the essence of creation, really. I mean, if you think about it, the tonality and the sounds that come from the universe is music. And so it resonates in our bodies, it resonates in our cells, it resonates in everything that we are, in how we speak, in how we communicate, in how we um, hear. We hear the tones of humanity. And so this position is one that I have the opportunity to share, just like I'm doing right now with you, with the world. And I'm excited because right out the gate in 30 days from, in about 33 days, I'll be flying to Abu Dhabi to be a part of the UNESCO Culture and Arts Education Conference. And soon after that, I'll be going to London, Ontario, Canada to be a part of the UNESCO Cities of Music Conference. And in addition, planning our own Cities of Music Conference. So it's just a delight and a pleasure to serve in this capacity and knowing that it really is what a vision that I've had for so long. Now, let me tell you what I did beforehand for
Okay.
almost 7 years. For almost 7 years, and I've got a long history, so this is just recent history, right? So,
Mm.
for about 7 years, I served working for a financial institution. I had to do a reset in my life, right? I'd had the loss of my mother. The I became a grandmother in some very tenuous circumstances, but so glad these babies are here. And I had to take some time to just get into a place where I needed to not have so much in my head. So I took a position at a bank. And it allowed me to serve customers and members and things of that nature. I didn't have a job where I had to take it home and things of that nature. But I did have a lot. I did have a lot of opportunity to process who I am as a woman, as a as an as a professional. I had the opportunity to really look at the things that were important to me, and actually doing that while doing that job, I was able to elevate my level of thinking about what I wanted. And it gave me time to process from internally, and also set some things in my life in a position of stability, okay, or greater stability. And what happened is that this organization found me, right, and knew of me as an artist, and said, "Hey, we want you to go to Mexico and be a part of a team that is going to share with students and teachers and a particular city, San Cristobal, Mexico, the story of the African diaspora music and how it moved through Mexico and South America." And this company that I was working with, very supportive, loved the idea, and was very supportive in me going. And then the organization says, "You've got quite a bit of financial background. Would you be the treasurer of our organization?" So you just never know how the universe is going to put you where you need to be, even though you don't understand why in the world you're there.
Yeah.
And so, because of all the knowledge that I was getting from being in the financial world, and being able to translate that to a board position, is how I became connected in such a unique way. And then, as we began to grow, the need for someone to serve in the capacity that I do now was evident. And they basically said, "You're the one that we need to have sitting as this as a deputy director, to tell the world about what we're doing." And so it everything, all again, all the while holding that vision, staying in connection with spirit, staying in connection with the authentic nature of who I am, all of those trials and tribulations and thoughts that run through your mind that say, "Oh, this will never happen," knowing the truth, reminding myself of the truth, and allowing that truth to emerge and grow, has just been an amazing experience. And now there's the next chapter. Now there's the opportunity to really see all those things come to life, and so it's just an absolute joy and pleasure.
Now, would you say that everything that took place for you happened in the timing that you wanted it to happen? Or what were the challenges in terms of the timeline that you might have set an expectation in your head versus the timeline that actually unveiled itself?
I thought I was going to be in that job for a year. I'll do this for, a year and a half. And then, no, as I mentioned, this year would have made 7 years. And if you think about it, the level of responsibility in this role really is one where you have to know who you are. You've got to be able to know who you are in the highs and the lows. And I anticipate that as we go into this new adventure, all of that training, all of that processing, and being able to be patient and poised is setting me up for a reason, right? So, can you imagine what the message is, as far as music being able to be a change maker in society? What that responsibility is. So I know
Mhm.
that there will be challenges, but I'm ready because I took the time and allowed the time and was not patient at times and really wondering, when is this going to change?
Right,
But
right.
I know that it has set me up for something greater, for a greater work to do in the world. And I'm glad I took the time to sit in it and be with it and allow it, even though I was not patient at times. And I think the one thing that was a recent shift was that I decided that whatever my livelihood is, it is joy filled and prosperous. And so I took that into the position that I had. You know, I have a livelihood that is joy filled and prosperous. So I would walk in every day. I ultimately walked in every day with that in my heart and in my soul and in my spirit. And I believe that that certainly unlocked a lot of opportunity for the next level to show up.
So I just want to share with the audience to make sure that they clearly understand that, and especially because I've known you in what, for like 3, 4 years now.
Yeah,
You did your work.
I
You
did the work.
did the hard work. You did the hard work internally. You did not look for your answers externally. You always turned internally to be able to step up to the plate for the challenges that you faced. I've watched you as an amazing woman grow tremendously. I've had the pleasure and the honor of being with you on like Black Business Network, on some of the projects that we're doing. You are the CEO of FAVuniteTv that is growing in leaps and bounds. I've been honored to be able to have some of my content on your television channel. You know, you're humble, but I need to make sure that our audience understands that they are getting the secret sauce, the secret sauce to holding a vision and then allowing your life to become a walk to that vision, and that you are a living testament, because I was able to witness watching an amazing woman step into her truth. And, you know, I had to say it. I had to go there because for me, I am so grateful and so honored to see you, to know you, and to know the success that is in your alignment, and even more coming to your alignment, which is a perfect opportunity for me to ask you about the icons and the workshops, the icons you're going to be working with, 2 of them, and the workshops that are coming up for you.
Yes. So again, when you open yourself up to spirit, when you open yourself up to the knowing that of who you are is with a purpose. I mean, we are all here with a purpose. We are here for a reason. And then to be able to step back and be an observer. And that's, I've learned a lot of that from you, Dr. Nolia, okay? To really step back and be the observer, because in that position, you have the opportunity to see where the steps to take and the steps not to take, right? And then to simply allow the energetic field of goodwill and well-being to step in on your behalf, right? So in doing so, I have had the pleasure of meeting 2 amazing people. One is Dorez Douglas. She is a pioneer for Black women in the film and television industry. So many of the people that we hear about, like the Ava DuVernays and so many of those young women who have careers are can say, Derez Douglas is an amazing pioneer in film and television, and her partner, her business partner, is Willie D. Burton, and Willie Burton is an iconic sound engineer. He did the sound for Roots, The Color Purple, for such amazing uh, movies such as Shawshank Redemption, and most recently did the sound for Oppenheimer. He has won 2 Academy Awards for sound. So these two amazing individuals that I've happened to come across their path and their mind, we're going to be doing a workshop in Kansas City, the Foresight Entertainment Film and Music Workshop, and UNESCO Creative City is sponsoring that workshop. It is one where youth between the ages of 18 to 25 will be able to learn the ins and outs of filmmaking, and particularly those positions or those skill sets that are behind the scenes, because so many particularly our young people, when they're I want to be an actress, I want to be a big time film director, but they cannot have the experiences that they have on screen without those incredible skilled professionals behind the scenes. And we'll have the opportunity to share with young people their knowledge. They're also going to bring some heavy hitters, celebrity uh, icons with them. And I will wait and save that for the next episode of The Infinite Way. But yeah, we're very, very excited that that's going to be taking place in June 2024. So, totally honored to be a part of that experience as well.
You bring such amazing work to humanity and to the general public. And this is just one of many things that you bring. Now, share with us a little bit about FAVuniteTv and what that entails and kind of what that is.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, FAVunite is, as you mentioned, an OTT streaming platform. OTT stands for over the top. If you've noticed, even with amazing programs like this, there are so many opportunities for people to share who they are with the world now through the format of streaming. And so in 2014, my husband Eugene and I set out to formulate this concept of fans, artists, and venues. My husband also comes from the entertainment industry. He has several years' experience in artist promotion and concert promotion. And so we, as a couple, were just trying to figure out what we can do to bring these worlds together. And then my son Delbert jumped in and said, well, it's a matter of bringing the fans, the artists, and the venues together. Fave. And then it began. We wanted to first test it on a social media platform or social media platforms where we could just get interest, get the name out there. But then in 2020, the industry of streaming became very accessible. So you're probably familiar with, when you hear the word streaming, with like Hulu and Netflix and so forth and so on. But in 2020, it became an industry that individuals who had a dream, who had a desire to have a business in that, were able to do so. And so we jumped in early on when those doors started to open and switched the platform from a social media network type to a streaming platform type. And that really opened up all kinds of opportunity. And because of that, we're now able to do create strategic partnerships with such as the Black Business Network, and with the Infinite Way, and with Creative City Kansas City UNESCO, because all of these platforms, it's so vast of a field that we can now really kind of cross platform in such a way that no matter what, we have now an opportunity for individuals to who don't necessarily have the ability to get on those Roku apps, those Amazon Fire Stick and Android TV and so forth and so on. We now have a way for other platform for platforms to, or for people, for artists to do that, for venues to do that, and for the fans that enjoy all of that, they can just come to FAVunite TV and see all of the wonderful content. So the content itself is more focused on on cultural diversity and um those stories that we don't get a chance to hear told from the perspective and the narratives of the individuals that are actually having those experiences, rather than having those stories come from uh, networks and studios that don't have that story. It's not an authentic place. So that's what we're here for. We're here to stream culture from around the world 24/7. We love the fact that fans, we know that they're a driving force. We want people to come see us. You want people to have uh eyeballs on your program and so forth and so on. And these people that do so, they're the fans. And so we say when fans rule, everyone wins. So that's the nature of FAVunite, one where we build community with between fans, artists, and venues, and then we stream content for people to watch that is unique, culturally aware, and um, brings about a sense of community.
So there you have it, FAVunite International. And did you always have the international viewpoint for FAVunite? Because you know what? When you first started it out, and I remember when you had transitioned to bringing FAVunite to fruition and everything else, it was very much a, a countrywide OTT streaming system. What was it that moved you to do the international piece of engagement for FAVunite?
Well, what moved is being able to meet so many people internationally, and then hearing their stories. That those stories are important, and people are interested. People are interested in knowing what's happening outside of their small communities, or what's going on right in their backyard. And the international piece is really important because with streaming, you are immediately global. I mean, your market can be whatever you want it to be, but if you choose to make it accessible to the world, then that also brings about a greater sense of community and understanding, to people, for people to see worlds that they're not accustomed to seeing. So it's really important to have that international piece. One of the things that spurred that was being a part of an organization called G100, and which is an international platform that. Thank you so much for introducing me to that. That was a great connection there, and then meeting so many people from around the world from that organization, and then hearing from them, oh my gosh, you have a platform that where I can introduce what I'm doing to the world, from India, from Africa to South America, so forth and so on. So it just really became evident that that is the track that we needed to go. There was a need, so we wanted to fill it.
So share with our audience a little bit about the different categories that they could engage in on FAVunite, because we do want people to subscribe.
Yes, we do want people to subscribe to FAVunite TV, FAVuniteTv.com. Go right over there and check out what we have in terms of content. And we also are looking for content creators too to come and share their stories. So essentially, whatever is, well, I guess the best way to put it is that we look for music, all those things that are culturally relevant to the world, music, film, lifestyle. So where you're traveling to, what are the foods and the culinary aspects going on in the world, those aspects of news in relevance to being more aware of how we are connected with humanity, or how humanity connects with one another. So many different ways that you can engage. Inspiration, of course, women's empowerment, definitely, because the voices of women are so important, so important. We have uh, lived in a world for so long where the voices of women have been purposefully tried to be dampened. And I want women to know that this is a platform for the voices of women to be heard as well. So yes, all of those ways in which people can experience FAVunite are through those different categories, so to speak, of travel and, again, culinary and lifestyle and music and film, short film, feature film, all of those things. And again, FAVuniteTv. .com. Visit us there. You can also come to FAVunite.com, and that is our community engagement platform.
I am so excited. You really bring to the table through FAVunite, through UNESCO, Kansas City, programming, with the projects that you're bringing, the contribution to humanity is tremendous. How does that make you feel to know that you are impacting lives in so many different respects?
It's an amazing feeling. And sometimes when I speak about the things that I've done and the things that I have the opportunity to do now, I'm just grateful. I'm just so absolutely grateful. When I had the opportunity to sing in front of Della Reese, and at the time she was the star of a show called I believe it was Angel. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the full name of the show, but and she was singing the words to my song called I Am Worthy. Then now to step into an arena where I am with Academy Award winning people, where the ability to travel even more so internationally, more frequently, and to be a spokesperson for for an industry. And um, I would say that music I'm not quite sure how to describe what music is, but it is something that is near and dear to my heart, really. And to carry on a legacy from my mother and father, it's a tremendous experience that I'm very, very grateful to be having at this time in my life.
So, I just want to share that what we are witnessing here, what we are witnessing is that people talk about their lives, and then I like to use this term, leaping of orbits. Okay? When a person has, in musical terms, gone an octave higher in their life. And that many of us go, oh, how do we do this? What do we do? But what's happening at this moment is that we are witness to it. That leap of orbit that's taking place, that transition that went from point A to point B, and now you're operating at point B. and this is what you had wanted to point B, and now you've arrived, and then the next leap of orbit will be from point B to point C as you engage on the journey and the path of point B. And, people will say, oh, what's your story? What did you do? How did you do it? And the bottom line is that you didn't turn externally. And I think that that's so important for this story, is that you didn't go outside of yourself to say, okay, I ran and I did this and I ran and I did that and I orchestrated this and I manipulated that. No, your story is one of how you turn inwardly, and how turning inwardly just allowed everything to align.
That is so true. What I've learned is that nothing external has anything to do with who you are internally. Everything comes from the inside out. And so when you know who you are, when you start from the inside, when you start with your inner vibration, when you have a knowledge of what you know feels right and what you know is at a center of peace, that's where you begin. You begin with inner peace. You begin with an inner knowing. You begin with the inside out. Nothing occurs from the standpoint of the outside in. Everything begins from the unseen to the seen. And that's where I chose to extend my vision. And so the power within us lies within the unseen, really, even the unknown, because you can't know anything without being in a place of unknown first. And so it allows us to explore, it allows us to have desire, it allows us to have vision. And so coming from that place of within, where everything begins, is where all the magic happens, where all the beauty lies, and being able to being able to see it, taste it, touch it, feel it before it is even in your hands or before the contract is signed. That's where it all is, really.
Yeah. And I guess I emphasize that because many people look outside of themselves. They're like, I got to work harder. I got to fix it harder. I got to manipulate it harder. I got to push it harder. They do everything, and they're doing everything external to force what they're looking to do to happen. And I just don't perceive it like that with you. And so that's why I wanted to emphasize it. I just perceive it. It's just like, wow, it's divinely aligned.
Yes.
This just took place because you did the work and went internal. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to be in life. And what is it that you might say to somebody else who's on a path wanting to achieve the same thing you did in their lifetimes for their goals and their visions, wanting to step up to that vision that they're holding for themselves? What would you say to them?
Well, a lot of people try to come to terms with what it is that they want by focusing on what they don't want. And what I encourage people to do is to feel where that is energetically and vibrationally. How does your body feel? How does your where's your energy level when you are focusing on, I don't want this, I don't want that? And most people aren't able to even articulate what they want without starting out with what they don't want. With what I don't want this, I don't want that. So what I encourage people to do is to just take the steps. If that's where you are, then move up the ladder. What I do want, or what I can have, or those types of things, so that they can get to that level of, this is what, not only what I want, but this is who I am. This is who I am. And when you're able to be in that place of knowing the I am of who you are, then it becomes a lot easier to vision. It becomes a lot easier to articulate that vision, and it's a lot easier to walk in the steps and be patient along the way.
Every year I pick a word that's going to define my year. This year, my word is transcendence, because I want to transcend that which I've already established to be even better. So, what is your word this year for 2024?
I would say gratitude, because being thankful and being grateful is such a powerful place to be. And some people think that that it makes you more vulnerable to and that because it takes you out of your ego. It really does take you out of your ego.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say gratitude. Because I could step into this position as deputy executive director from a place of look, I did this, look, I did that. But that's a real that's a place where you can start to fall easily. When
Right.
you step into it from a place of gratitude, then you are able to embrace all of the things that brought me. I can embrace the things that brought me to this point. All of the people like Anita Dixon, who is the executive director of this organization, who wrote the grant or the proposal to UNESCO. I can thank this amazing team of people that are on this journey of FAVuniteTv, including my husband, including you, including my brother, my son, and it's a family affair, right? Christina and so many other people, new people coming on board. So being in that place of gratitude and thankfulness allows me to stay humble, and also allows me to know that the journey ahead is has great potential and great opportunity for even more things to be grateful for.
It's so beautiful. And I think that that's a beautiful place. We're coming up on an hour to take pause. And, I would love for you to share how people can check out FAVuniteTv and subscribe, how they can find it and subscribe. And then if they want to get in contact with you and have a conversation, how to reach you.
Very simple. To subscribe to FAVuniteTv, you just go to FAVuniteTv.com. And that's FAVuniteTV.com. FAVuniteTV.com. To reach me, simply go to info@FAVuniteTV.com. For content creators looking for a place, for a home to have your content seen, please send me an email and we will get in touch with you and begin to have that relationship so that we can get your work seen on FAVuniteTV.com.
Bukeka Blakemore, Deputy Director, UNESCO, Executive Deputy Director of UNESCO. Thank you so, so much for taking the time to speak with us and for sharing your wisdom. As always, it is such a pleasure. And any last words, any last golden nuggets you want to leave?
Yes. We are all inherently worthy. And it doesn't matter what you know, what you have, you are worthy by right of your existence.
Thank you, Bukeka. And this has been another episode of The Infinite Way, where spirituality meets humanity. Thank you for listening to our episode. We have a new episode each week. Subscribe, and share these episodes. We thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Anolia. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.